Welcome to Coach Bill Gordon's field at Rancocas Valley High School on this October 12, 2018, and the game between Rancocas Valley Red Raiders, who are 3-2, and the Vineland Fighting Clan, who are 2-3. I'm John Parentazzi, your color man, and my partner Rich Scarpa, who does the play-by-play. And before I turn it over to Rich, I'd like to talk a little bit about Bill Gordon, who I knew for many years. He was a great football coach, athletic director, and I worked for him many times, Rich, in state tournament games. Rancocas Valley always had good basketball, and he was quite a man, and always a gentleman. Had good football teams, Rich, by the way. He had Franco Harris in that group to play for him. Always a gentleman. Rich?
Do you think Bill is happy there's not enough press box area to keep us out of the elements tonight, Coach? I think the way you describe Bill, he sounds like a wonderful man, and he certainly didn't give us any space tonight. We are our bleacher chop with the elements, and we're getting ready for a really good football game all week long, trying to compare these teams. And there's so many similarities, but one difference that's been the case for Vineland for a lot of the year. And this is a big game as both teams are fighting for playoff position. And, Coach, before we get deep into that, let's thank our sponsors for letting us bring you this game live.
The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Vineland High School football team this season. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharmes, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caters, Allen Associates, Delcy ShopRite, Bella Limousine, Medio Law Firm, the Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, Technid Consulting, Vineland Education Association, Begal University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richland Carpet and Flooring, GNS Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Bondi Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Barufi Brothers, Beretta Plumbing, Heating and Cooling,
Luciano Medical, Van Dodge, and Homestead Plumbing and Heating.
The Vineland High School football team and coaches thank everyone for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season.
Well, Coach, tonight I think on the way up here we talked a little bit about these two teams. Let me give you a quick rundown on what's happening at Rancocas Valley. It's head coach Dan Halsman. They're 3-2 this year with a state number 44 rank, 21-7 over the past 3 seasons, and last year the runner-up in the Group 5 South Jersey Championship to Lenape, where they lost a heartbreaker 10-7. Rancocas Valley right now is ranked number 2 in the playoff rankings of Group 5 South Jersey. Some things in common: both teams beat Trenton and both teams lost to Williamstown. Rancocas is coming off a loss and hope to get back on track tonight. And, Coach, this offense we've watched from Rancocas on some film, I think it's kind of unique in their run options. How do you see it coming in?
I watched them all week, Rich. I tell you, the young man can throw the ball, the quarterback. I think we can stop their running game. We are much larger than them on both lines, and our defense has played terrific all year. Now, can we stop them passing the ball? I think that's the big question. Number 2, they got a good outside running game, Rich, and we got beat up all year long, and you know that. When the teams run wide on us, we just have a tough time containing them. And they'll be the 2 factors tonight.
Well, that outside running game starts with a pretty unique formation, as they'll stack a couple receivers, most of the time 3, right on the edge, almost like wing T, where they're going to go off that tackle or tight end. And you'll have 3 receivers there, or wing backs or halfbacks, whatever you want to call them, with 1 back in the backfield. And that gives them a big emphasis at the point of attack to seal an edge. And that's what Coach is talking about. The one place people have moved the ball is right outside and getting to that edge. So it's going to be a challenge for Vineland, and I think as this game goes on, the Vineland defense will be able to figure it out much better. As Coach mentioned, Rancocas Valley with a pretty even attack. Rancocas Valley has 650 passing yards and 600 rushing yards. These are rounded around to make them smooth numbers through 5 games. So they're throwing for 123 and rushing for 117, so they're splitting it right up the middle, and so is Vineland. Vineland is 58% run, 42% pass, and they're 943 passing yards, which Ryan Shelton looks to become the first quarterback since Ernie Bernhardt, and possibly the second quarterback ever in Vineland high school history to throw for 1,000 yards. So Vineland with that 943 passing and 900 rushing. Quarterback coach is talking about his quarterback Bryce Mangine, throwing for 616 yards, and he's the top rusher, has the most carries with 37 for 109 yards, but they spread it out pretty good there with Taji Mack, 26 for 191, and Anthony Moses, 22. So well spread out. You don't know who's getting the ball when they are on offense. So the Red Devils of Rancocas Valley will receive. So Vineland on defense first. But for the Vineland offense, it's been pretty balanced. Leading the way rushing is Shelton with 96 for 388. He's averaging 4 yards a carry. Junior Nazir Broom, 59 for 289 yards. He's at 4.9. The freshman Arthur with 169 yards, averaging 4.7. And we got to count Shelton's yards. Anytime he's sacked on a pass play, that goes against his rushing yards. So Shelton's certainly much more involved in the rushing game.
Rich, Sheldon really poses a threat. He drops back and he's getting more confident. If there's no receivers open, he runs. And he has really put another dimension in the Vineland offense.
And that dimension is the passing game for Vineland. And for Vineland, it's Tyreen Powell leading the way with 21 receptions, 447 yards. He's averaging just under 12 yards a catch. Then it's the sophomore Tony, 19 for 189 at 10 yards a carry, or reception. Conrad Jackson has 174 yards. Otis Harold has 110, and Reyes, who's just starting back at tight end most recently, has 95 through really a couple games of playing in there. So not only can they throw it, they spread it around very well, as last week it was Powell with a lot of the work. Well, Coach, we're going to have the national anthem, so we'll quiet down.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad strokes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the and the hope of the brave.
Delivering the national anthem. Well, Coach, one thing that's led Rancocas has been their special teams this year. I don't know how you rank special teams, but the special teams unit is ranked #1 in South Jersey. And that special teams return game is led by senior Danny Condris, who has a ton of speed and has taken 3 back this year.
Well, I think you measure it, Rich, by how many returns you have against you, if anybody's returned anything against you, or if you have returned anything. You know, the yardage, that's pretty special. But I think you're ranked on what you do when you get the ball in a special and what you stop the opposition from doing. Rich, in the years I was a head coach, we never had anybody run a punt or a kickoff back. You know that. We
Yeah, and you
practiced
always
hard.
chose your smartest players to have outside containment, and it was an honor, Coach.
I didn't want to be responsible, so I give it to a teammate.
The referee, Mr. Cliff DeCourcy. Umpire, Mr. Kevin Pace. Line judge, Mr. Steve Posey. Linesman, Mr. Bert Ballard.
So how you feel about going on defense first?
Mr. Lou Papa.
I've done both. When I had good offensive teams, I took the ball.
Operator, Mr. Don.
If I had good defensive teams, I deferred. And it's what the coach, you know, what he decides. What's best for the team. And Byron had Vineland deferred, Rich.
Kicking off for Vineland will be number 65, Robert Aparicio.
Okay, Rich, do we get a squib or deep?
I think we're getting a squib by Aparicio. And number 2, Condris is back to return it, along with Michael Jones. It's a short fly ball. Condris lets it hit. It's bobbled, then picked up late. Trying to make a shoestring tackle on the play for Vineland is Broom, and he slows him up. Decent field position for that Vineland defense to work with on the opening drive for Rancocas. So they'll start right on their 24. So for Vineland up front, it's nose tackle George Robinson. 73 DeMarcus Rivers at left tackle. Jameer Malloy at right tackle. Linebackers across the board will be 9 Turner as Rancocas breaks the huddle. 7 Blakely, and we are underway. Dive, nothing much there initially. Blakely comes up and makes a hit, but just like last week, Vineland's defense does a nice job controlling the middle. When people try to bounce it out, those linebackers are quick enough to get over.
Yeah, that's the strength of our defense, Rich. Stopping the run, inside run.
And stopped it for -3 on that first play. It's a pitch sweep and cutting to the inside with a little bit of room, but nice tackle on the play by Delgado.
Well, they tried to go wide for the first time, and we boxed them in pretty good, Rich, here. We're going to put the ball in the air, Rich. What do you think?
Yeah, and I'm surprised they're not in that bunch. They're going 4 receivers and trying to spread Vineland out. Mangine to throw. He's flushed. It's floated. Blakely almost has a one-handed interception as he has outstanding coverage down the field on Sharon Hill, their leading receiver.
You know where Blakely's brother plays?
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah, for Coach Race.
Oh, I didn't know Coach Therese was there.
Yeah.
So Mangine back to kick. It's going to be sophomore Tony, number 3, back to return.
Man,
So nice
he's
job by the defense.
He's pretty deep, Rich. Get away.
And Vineland gets decent field position. Looks like their own 36, but there's a flag on the field right around midfield.
Oh.
The foul is on Lenape.
Oh. How do you have a hole when you're the punting team? That's tough for me to believe.
That's a little overzealous attempt to block. And if you've watched film, you know Vineland's been letting them roll a little bit. So kind of a silly penalty on the Red Devils.
Well, what are they waiting on?
Let's
We gotta
get to
mark
step
it
it.
off.
All right. Now let's head upfield, please, and get this offense on the field. Well, last week it was a loss at St. Joe's, and as has been the case with some of these high-powered teams that the Fighting Clan has played, a tie game or one-possession game in the fourth or at the end of it, Vineland's been right there with some of South Jersey's best, and they take on another top team today. Well, Coach, it's going to be a little rough. It's going to
Danny
be
has
a
a
little
choice.
tough working up here.
Danny has a choice of getting the ball here or making him punt again.
So you can't get the penalty yards? Oh, well, I would think once his foot struck it. So Rancocas Valley comes in ranked 14th in South Jersey. Vineland has played the number 1 and 3 teams also, and another ranked team in Timber Creek in the top 20. Nice push at the end to be able to fall forward for Arthur.
They didn't give it to him, Rich.
Yeah, I think they stopped him before. Vineland goes right back to it again. This time Arthur tripped up and picks up a little bit more there, maybe 3 or 4 that time. As you mentioned pregame, it's the freshman Arthur with 36 carries for 169 yards. He's averaging 4.7. He's the running back now. You also get some Broom at 4.9 a carry, just under 300 yards. And Shelton, yet to carry it himself, but he's the leading rusher on the team with 388 yards, so pretty diverse there. 3rd and 6, Vineland yet to throw it today. And offsides on the defense, as Shelton threw it 40 times last week, which was a school record.
Well, that should be a first if the stakes are right.
There's signals. Oh, here we go. Saw a 3 in the middle of the field, but the side judge says, let's move them up. First down, Fighting Clan on the offsides by Rancocas. Brandon Anderson, Brandon Roldan, Up front on the line for Vineland, along with 70 senior captain for your starter center, Mike Bachma. Shane Eckert, the senior, alongside. And sophomore 77 Dutra at the other tackle spot. Shelton gets everybody where he wants them to be. 8 minutes to go in this first half. Shelton's going to take it himself for the first time. He cuts upfield, and he's going to have about 5 or 6 before he's brought down.
It's just a straight quarterback run, Rich. There's no fakery, no try to pass, no.
A nice blocking up front as the line pulls and turns up field for him. So officially a gain of 6, 2nd and 4. The leading receiver is 22 Powell at the bottom, but that ball is going to be tipped at the line, intended for tight end Anthony Reyes. Shelton has it knocked back. Hasn't happened that often this year. Shelton have one come right back at him like that. Shelton, the junior, at 6'2", 185, so he usually has a pretty free lane there, but a nice job by the defensive line getting their arms up.
But that young man had a straight line, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Nobody.
I remember on them dumps, we would block it like a run and try to double team if there was a nose or double team on a guard to pull that linebacker up out of there. Yeah. It was the lineman that didn't fall for it and got his arms up. So 3rd and 4. Shelton looks off the first guy, and it's tipped and nearly intercepted, but it'll fall incomplete.
Rich, we had 2 receivers a foot away from each other.
And Jesse Erdick almost had an interception. The outside linebacker right in the right spot between the two. So Vineland sends Schnell in to kick. Off the Bachma snap. And sure enough, Drury is back. Short kick, he's going to step up and try to take it in stride. Flag hits the field. Bachma first one there. He eludes him to the top of the screen. Looks like Gregory made the stop. So Rancocas with their 2nd penalty already. They're marching backwards. They're going to start that jaunt from the 27. Looks like they'll be close to the 18, Coach, and start their 2nd drive, Rancocas will.
Yeah.
The lights and the glare on the field make it look wet. We had a ton of rain last night, but the field is turf and dry and in great shape. Could have been a little troublesome on a regular surface with all that rain last night. Mangine's going to throw. He's under pressure. He tries to elude it. Floats it complete. Looks like it's going to be good enough for a first down to Condris.
His threat of a run, Rich, the linebackers gave up on their coverage and went to go after him, and that's why the receiver was wide open underneath.
There's an opening on the edge. Powell in the way. Powell bring him down, but not before about another 10 yards. Thanks tonight to our crew. Tonight's crew, Kayla Spire, Tanner Bushman, Jordan Skarzinski, crew chiefs Doug Diola, Ryan Steinbrown, and executive producer of BPS TV is Jim Missouri School District Public Information Officer. So enough for a first down, a gain of about 10. That time for Taj Matlock. And there's Waggle pass. There's good coverage downfield. He's going to have to try to dump it off. He does. We'll have to see if the receiver was in or out of bounds. And we're all heading back, so out of bounds, incomplete. Not a real good vantage point tonight as we're only about 10 rows up from the field. We had plenty of time on that bootleg pass. Good coverage downfield by Powell, who was locked up in man coverage. Powell is your leading tackler with 46 tackles. It's a safety that gets up to the line in a hurry. Quarterback draw, nipped and hit, and then finally wrestled down with Bachma up high and Delgado down low. Minimal gain of about a yard on that one. So just that quick, it's 3rd and 9.
Yeah.
Mangine tries to draw him off. Discipline from the Vineland front as they say that. Now Delgado, 56, comes down to the wide side of the field. Reyes flip-flops in the middle. And here comes Bachman with a big rush. He flushes the quarterback out. And there's a bullet thrown and complete between two Vineland defenders. A beautiful bullet pass by Mangine. And Rancocas converts a big 3rd down.
Told you, Rich, that was #1 priority tonight. Stop the passing game. A young man can throw, can he?
Well, that was a bullet on the move to the sideline. Almost looked like he was going to have to run with it, but he fit it through a small window. This time Mangine gives, trying to get to the outside and pick his way through before Powell delivers the finishing blow. Delgado, Powell, and Bachma around that one. Bachman getting a lot of early reps on that defensive line.
Yeah, he is. This drive started on the Rancocas 17, Rich. Pretty good drive so far.
Mangine has Matlock alongside on this 2nd and 9, and Mangine's going to throw a quick out, and it's complete and dropped short of the 1st down, make it 3rd and short. It's one thing the Vineland defensive backs have done. They've seen an awful lot of passing this year. And when you dump it off in front, they're usually there in a hurry and have been pretty sure tacklers when they get there. This one's taking a little bit of time, but Mangine is ready. He's going to go under center this time. And sure enough, the
Timeout, Rich.
Clock ticking, and
Timeout.
Rancocas will take a timeout to avoid the penalty with 3:33 to go in a fast-moving first quarter. Well, we have Vineland on defense, as I mentioned. It's Powell first with tackles, Reyes second with 39, Blackwell 38, Blakely 30, Broom 28. And for those defensive linemen, when you're doing your job, they're not pounding it in there. And I think of Robinson, who's right over the nose, and not many people have moved the ball in between there with him and the help of the linebacker. So you don't get as many opportunities also. But one thing that's certainly happened all year long is Powell from his safety spot is able to meet the running backs at the line of scrimmage, read the play quick enough, and he's like having an extra linebacker in there. It's Reyes with 4 sacks, Blakely with 3, leading the way for the Clan. And Delgado's quickly moving up the ranks with his 2 sacks, about 5 tackles for loss, but still just had to miss the first 5, or first 4, so still catching up. But he's been a leader, 56 on defense since he's been in there.
Please purchase your tickets and support the art event.
So another third down. The last one converted through the air on a big completion. This time it's the safety blitz. His pal's up there. Mangine floats it complete for a first down, and that's going to be right around the 5-yard line. Washington with a nice catch and a beautiful pattern. Well, that's one thing I saw in the film was a lot of just fly patterns, but boy, they've really made some nice cuts and bought themselves some time to be open and receive a football. First and goal for Rancocas. There's a dive up the middle, and that's going to lose yards as Robinson's right there. And so far, you can almost assume Delgado's going to be getting up right around the tackle, being involved somehow as he starts out hot in there. So under 3 in the first quarter. Rancocas loses 2. It's 2nd and 7, or 2nd and goal from the 7. Mangine and Matlock. Mangine rolls to the top. I think this is just going to be an out pattern, and boy, was that defended beautifully on the play by number 9, Turner. Turner, stride for stride, gets his hand in there and knocks it away. But, Coach, there is a great zip on the ball for Mangine.
Rich, they run, when he rolls, every receiver heads for the sideline, which is really, that's a great football play because now he has an option to run or throw that ball.
So another third down, the third on this drive. Third and goal from the 7 after the incompletion. Mangine's hitting, the ball's loose, and it's grabbed in the air. Pulling away. He's got one guy to beat. He may need to make a move. And brought down at the 35-yard line off the deflection and interception. Barry Turner, who just had an outstanding pass defended in the end zone, comes up with that one and takes it back upfield and puts Vineland in position as they're close to the 35-yard line of Rancocas. Barry Turner, since he's been in there, he has just gotten stronger and stronger every week. We're calling his name more and more, and he's really been a fixture for that Vineland secondary. That Barry got in there for his first start when we were playing Timber Creek, which threw the ball more than anybody we've seen in years. So back to that offense. Shelton at the helm, takes it himself. He has blocking in front. He tries to go wide. And I think that time there it was the cut inside that pulling guard that tried to lead up there. Shelton looking for a little more on the outside and picks up a yard or two.
Boy, they're waiting for him, Rich.
That'll bring up 2nd and 9.
And Shelton's been Mr. Everything for Vineland. His first year as the starting quarterback. As we mentioned, he's going to probably eclipse 1,000 yards passing on the season, which hasn't happened in a couple decades. And not much more before that for Vineland football. Very run-heavy program in the past. Shelton gives this time and nowhere to go. Nick Maftone, the defensive lineman there from the jump. Fortunately, he was able to get close to the original line, so it's going to be 3rd and 11. So Vineland's first third down on this drive. Shelton rolls to the top, floats it over the head of Reyes. Incomplete, fourth down. Vineland will probably go for it here as they are on the 35-yard line. And Rancocas Valley does have very good kick returners. You probably figure it's going to get in the end zone somehow, so you're going to gain 15 yards. Much rather take a shot here to pick up that first down. And they have to get right to the 25 to pick that up.
Call timeout, Danny. Timeout.
Play signaled in. We'll watch the back judge and see if we get close to it, but Shelton has them ready. Shelton back. Delivers a strike to Reyes, who breaks a tackle, spins inside, steeps, moving, driving, pulling, twisting, turning.
Wow.
Reyes, after first contact, was about 1.5 yards short. And just the excitement of him getting through that first one, but boy, he is difficult to bring down, running like a man possessed. 1st and 10, Fighting Clan. As you see at the bottom, the defense stood up when it needed to with the Turner interception from a 1st and goal set. And as we have 10 seconds left in this first quarter, that's probably going to pass down, and we'll hit the second quarter. But Vineland 1st and 10 on the Rancocas 16 when that begins, Coach.
That is the end of the first quarter. With the score being the Rancocas Valley Red Devils 0.
Shelton's had a lot more time to throw today. The defense.
He looks very comfortable back there, don't he, Rich?
Yeah, and that line, we talked about new guys coming together in the beginning of the year, with the Brandons, and the Brandons are doing a nice job tonight, and the whole offensive line is giving Shelton that extra second he needs to be able to have these receivers complete their patterns. And one of the most confusing places to play is the offensive line this year. Have so many responsibilities and not quite sure who's coming at you. One thing I like coming into this was the 4-man front for Rancocas. I kind of like how it gives the linemen on run plays angles that they can block to.
Yeah, but those 3 linebackers have filled the hole very good.
Yes, they certainly have.
You know, you're worried about the guys on the line, and linebackers they roam a little free.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd also like to remind you we would like to congratulate the October of the month.
Just that quick, about 10 minutes ago, we're looking, all right, Rancocas is getting close to getting in, but now it's Vineland just that fast knocking on the door in the red zone at the 17-yard line. Shelton gives to Blackwell, and he's hit behind the line. He's going to lose a yard. Blackwell more of the hammer in that rushing attack. Running between the tackles, mostly your short yardage back and your possession back. I think sometimes Blackwell just needs the ball a little bit more to get himself underway. Vineland adds a blocker on the inside. And Blackwell's going to pick up some yards on that one, setting up 3rd down. So 3rd and 10. Thought he had a little bit more than that. This time the tight end Reyes is at the bottom of the screen. He's the wide out down there. Shelton throws it complete to Otis Harold, who makes a move inside the 5. And he's going to have enough for a Vineland 1st down, and it's going to be 1st and goal. Otis Harold has come to life. He's Vineland's stretch receiver, you could say. He and Jackson both averaging over 18 yards of reception. But Harold comes in with 6 for 110 and picks up a big one there. Shelton himself head fakes in, crosses the end zone, touchdown. Vineland Fighting Clan as they get on the board first with 10:36 to go, and it's Shelton on a 4-yard run. Just outstanding job there. It's Shelton this time dips his head to the inside, and that gives him all the space he needs. Now Garton on to kick the extra point. Oh no, excuse me, it's Aparicio. It had been Henry Garton, who was 7 for his last 8. Robert Aparicio, who did this job last year, in there for the extra point to try to put Vineland up 7-0. It's a good snap, good placement. Kick is up high enough, but wide left.
What happened to Garton? I wonder what happened to him. He might be hurt or something.
Yeah, Henry Garton, number 17, not dressed tonight on the sideline. See him there. So with Garton out, Aparicio gets his first try in weeks and just missed it a little bit to the left. But Shelton leading that offense, he takes it in for the score. But it was Otis Harold on a 3rd down conversion that picks it up inside the 5 off a bullet from Shelton on his roll. Eckert and Brandon Anderson talking it over with Shelton as the offense moved the ball very nicely that time. Still yet to get the running game on track. Sometimes you just keep trying it to just keep them in tight to stop it, and that's what frees up some of your receivers.
Right. Sheldon's thrown a lot of sprint out passes tonight, which is really give him a lot more time because he's getting outside. And we're almost running the same patterns as Rancocas Valley. Everything's towards the sideline.
You know, I certainly like, I've said this all year, you know, I like when Shelton rolls and he starts pressing the line of scrimmage to put the linebackers in some jeopardy, deciding to come up on Shelton or to stay in their coverage. Kicked across the field. I think that's going to go out of bounds. Delgado knocks it down on the side. It'll be a penalty on the Fighting Clan. And some good field position here for Rancocas. So things take a little turn after the extra point, but it's still the Fighting Clan 6, Rancocas Valley nothing. And RV is going to want them to kick it again. Well, if you have South Jersey's #1 return unit and special teams unit, you probably want another shot at it. So this time Vineland will kick from their 35. So Aparicio to do it again. There's the high fly ball, and it's picked up at the 35, making a couple people miss, a couple people more before Tony and Blakely make the stop. So Rancocas will take over right at their own 45-yard line. Next score's a big one, Coach.
Yep.
Be nice for Vineland to play from the lead. They have it now, and if you can get that next score, you know, that's the way we've been playing a little bit of catch-up from time to time, and puts a lot of pressure on a team and on a coach to try to make things happen. Let's see if that defense can give another 3 and out here. First drive of the game went nowhere for Rancocas. Delgado, Blakely, Reyes, and Blackwell are your linebackers. And a quick pass drop that time. That was a bullet, and Sherman Hill not able to hold on. Turner, Gregory, Powell, Delgado also at linebacker.
I'd be throwing that pass all day, Rich. That's a little screen. We only have one defender out there.
And there's dive up the middle and hit hard by Delgado. He was already getting tackled by Blackwell down low and Turner in the middle, but Delgado comes up and drives him back for a loss. It's going to be 3rd and double sticks, 3rd and about 11. Turner, Gregory, Powell, and Broom are your D-backs.
He's going to sprint right, Rich, and throw the ball.
So right now, pressed up on the line is 84 Reyes. It looks like he's coming on a stun along with Turner from the outside. So they're going to be attacking from the bottom of the screen. Big rush, hit initially, drifts back, floats it. Nice heads-up play by Mangine, who floats it incomplete towards his receiver Myers, but avoids a big loss. But the Vineland defense appears to have had that 3-and-out stop, as now it's 4th and 12. Rancocas to kick, but they're not afraid to fake it either, as Bryce Mangine is back there to punt it away.
Yeah, you got to be careful here.
Well, last year they had a big fake against Millville that really put the heat back on the Thunderbolts. So you got to know who you've got, make sure what's happening, and it's kicked away, and it's a high end-over-end kick. It's going to hit at the 20 and roll down to the 15 and trickle to the 14, where the Fighting Clan will take over, 1st and 10. You know, as the season goes on, there's players in and out of the lineup. And, you know, when I was doing some of these stats today, got Trust Cooper, our starting D-back in the beginning of the year. Most of one game in, 5 tackles, 1 interception, and not played since the first week as he's been injured. But talk about the plays being made on the field, that shows a lot of the depth that Vineland has. You also have DeAndre Tall Kennedy, who has an interception this year. He's maybe has a game and a half in. So some depth on Vineland's defense, but now it's offensive time. And Shelton's going to start it out alone, but he gives to Tony, and the ball pops out. And Vineland turns it over. Looks like it's going to be right at the 10-yard line on the fumble. Kind of was thinking it was a fake as I saw Shelton and Tony looking to each other, but unfortunately not. Well, not the first time the defense has been in this position after a turnover, that's for sure. Just really need to keep that offense out of the end zone yet again. That's for the second time Rancocas cracks the 10-yard line, as it's officially 1st and goal from the 10. Mangine gives and hit right away with the ball loose, and it's out on the ground. I was going to say hit right away, but driving forward, but the ball away from his body as they go to their big body. Linebacker Jesse Eardick, the senior at 6'2", 225. He tries to power through the middle, but well, he does put it on the ground, and it rolls backwards to the 15. Swarming defense by the Fighting Clan. 2nd and goal at the 15. It's Mangine and Matlock. Seems like that defensive front is getting a really big push on these passing downs. And Mangine, when he rolls, he's buying time. But not much in the pocket as he's hit as he throws it, but it's complete. And in the end zone for the touchdown to Hill. What a shot Mangine took as the pressure was on. But he stood in there and delivered to tie this one up at 6-6 with 7:59 to go in the first quarter as we wait for the try for point. Colin Backman, the kicker, the senior at 6'2", 155. The holder is Mangine. Long snapper David Boker. Good snap, good placement. And this one looks like it's going to make it through, so Rancocas Valley takes the 7-6 lead at the 7:59 mark. Off the turnover, it's 2 plays, and they find the end zone.
Rich, that fumble killed us. You can't do that. You're controlling the game a little bit, and to turn it over, you know, the momentum shifts automatically when you turn it over like that.
Yeah, and after the defense holds deep in their own end, sets you up in good field position, the offense then punches it in. You know, they did more than their fair share. And unfortunately, Mangine just able to get rid of it before he takes a wallop. But he throws a tight fastball there, Coach.
Yep. What was my number one thing, Rich, prior to the game? Stop the what? Stop the passing game. They haven't run it all against us. Think about it. They may have gained 2 yards.
Yeah, they may be in negative rushing yards right now. So for Vineland, it's Nazir Broom, number 34 back, alongside number 3, Tony. As well as extra points, it's Colin Backman to kick it off. And he's going to squib it. Blakely makes a couple people miss, hops to the middle, and it's a nice return to the 39 or 40-yard line. Blakely sets the Fighting Clan back up in good position with 7:49 to go. So really, neither team has established a run. Vineland's gotten some positive yards on some run plays, though. And Vineland fakes the same play they ran last time, and Shelton's going to dive forward before he's tackled and picked up a couple.
Their
Jarrett
linebackers
Malone.
are so active, Rich. Nothing from the front. Everything's been tackled by the linebackers.
So a gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Tyreen Powell yet to get one in his hands today. He's at the bottom of the screen, number 22. See what Shelton has planned for this one. As he gives up the middle and picking his way through for about 3 or 4 yards. Nice run there. Goes Anthony Arthur.
That'll be 3rd and 4. The ball is spotted on the Vineland.
The freshman Arthur closing in on 200 yards on the year.
Big play here, Rich. You don't want to give the ball back to them after that turnaround.
3rd and 4. You're not deep enough to really go for it on 4th, so they need to get it here as Reyes comes into tight end. And it's a dump pass to Reyes, who picks it off the turf for the completion and the first down, but now the side official says no, he didn't, as that was close, as it was coming in low. Reyes got his hands on it, but I don't think you can complain with a call on either way on that, as that was almost picked off the turf and almost not. So goes incomplete. Vineland will be forced to punt as Schnell checks in. Timing just a little off for Reyes and Shelton on that one.
Number 21 takes now to the punt.
Schnell has it. He has time. Puts his foot into it, angles it towards the sideline, takes a Vineland hop. Boy, beautiful punt there. as you're trying to keep it away from Condis. And he does by angling it across the field. Condis has to drop back to try to get it. Not able to get it in the air. And Vineland's going to, Rancocas will start right at their own 14-yard line. It's another position that's improved every week as Schnell has just continued to do what's asked, to get big punts when they need them. And last week it was the big punt over Jada Byers' head that Jada catches on a big hop and returns and set it up. Kind of out-kicked the coverage with his boot on that one. 1st and 10 now for Rancocas. 6:08 to go in the first half. Mangine is ready now. And it's a give. Delgado comes in, turns him back in. And as Coach mentioned earlier, not able to do anything on the ground against that Vineland defense.
They've hurt us with the pass, Fritz.
We'll officially call it no gain and 2nd and 10.
That'll be 2nd and 10 for the Red Devils.
Linebacker on the slot receiver there. Let's see if they take a look at that. Mangine tries to change it up on the line. Motion, and they try to go wide. And making a nifty cut to the inside before he's hit and dropped after the first down is Condris. And he showed that speed and elusiveness that has him one of the area's top return men. The senior at 5'8". So that run picks up yards as they get it, their jet sweep in the hands of their speedy receiver. Here's that bunch we've seen a lot of, trying to go back to the top is Matlock. And he's going to maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. As that time they stacked 4 guys on the bottom of the screen on the edge there, but they run belly back underneath. But Vineland defensive line and linebackers not fooled.
Robert Aparicio, number 68, Jorge Picasso on the tackle.
55 Malloy in on that one. Second and 10. Here comes pressure. They have the right play on. Powell comes up to try to force the action. And it starts with Broom, and then Powell cleans it up. Maybe a gain of half a yard on that completion to Condris.
They played that awful well, didn't they, Rich, on that bubble screen?
Yeah, I thought at first it was going to be Powell forcing it, but the underneath linebacker, Broom, is going to get there first, so Powell hops to the outside a little bit to keep a second outside edge on Condris. So 3rd and 10. And back to throw is Mangine. He's under pressure as he rolls to the top of the screen. He's got some room to run. Is it going to be enough if he crosses the 41-yard line? It's going to be close to a first down. The marker right around the 41. And that's what happens when you run fast receivers up the field. You're running with your back to the quarterback. And they pick it up on 3rd and 10. Time now a factor in this half at 3:09.
Yeah. That would have been a big stop there.
Mangine going to run it himself. Bachman hits him first. He spins out of Delgado, tries to spin away from Delgado again and Powell, but they're able to bring him down. Second and 8. Clock is running at 2:45. We're counting down the first half here, where the only difference is an extra point, as Vineland got on the board first 6-0. Then off a turnover, the Red Devils capitalize at 1st and 10 at the 15 and take it in 2 plays later. It's been the arm of Mangine rolling out and firing some bullets across this field. And now he's going to take it himself. Ball really not ID'd. Nice 2 nifty moves. He switches to the inside before Blakely gets him. The defensive lineman lost the football there as Mangine just steps right across the face of the defender.
He showed a little speed in this drive, ain't he, Rich?
Speed and agility. A couple nifty jump cuts on that one.
Yeah.
As has been the case most of the day, it's Mangine and Matlock. This time Washington drops back a little bit. There's a gift to Matlock, and he sniffed out and hit, tries to break free. Blackwell tosses him back. Malloy comes in to help out along with Delgado and Rivers. So a big loss on the play of about 5. It's going to make it 2nd and 15 with 1:32 to go. Vineland has all 3 timeouts. Rancocas has 2. Vineland will be getting the ball to start the second half as we're at 1:13 and running. It's a screen. Sniffed out well. Boy, that's an outstanding play by the nose tackle. George Robinson had a beeline on the quarterback and said this was too easy and hit the brakes. Good heads-up play as he drops back and makes the tackle. So we're at 51 seconds to go. Looks like RV is going to hold on to this for the rest of the half here. They're waiting to run their play on 3rd down. Vineland, of course, doesn't want to use their timeouts and give them time to have a drive. Out of scoring range, you have a play to defend here. And jumping off sides goes Vineland.
Boy, that hurts, Rich.
Yeah, and not the most dire play that you need a super duper jump on. You know, the clock will run again. This could be the last play if RV wants it to be. 19, 18, counting down. 15 seconds. Let's drop those D-backs back deep. Mangine drops back deep. He steps up, tries to get to the outside around Bachma. He does, and he's going to short hop it. Great pressure up front by Vineland. And that's going to do it for the first half. I thought there may have been a couple seconds left. Let's make sure the officials think it's the end. Wave that football over your head.
4 seconds will remain.
All right, they're going to put 4 seconds on the clock. So one more try at 4th.
Make that 2.3 seconds.
2.3 seconds. So last play of the half, barring a defensive penalty. So right now, Vineland just needs to keep RV out of the end zone. Oh, they're going with 0.2 seconds. You know, every time the whistle's blown and play stopped and started, how many seconds do you lose in a half? But they figured out there's one more chance for Rancocas before the half is over. Mangine drifts back really far, and he's going to look at quarterback draw, and he's hit and throws it to avoid the sack, and there's the flag. So Vineland will decline that and take it to a half, but they will have one untimed play if they take the penalty, correct, Coach?
Yes.
Intentional grounding's a loss of down. and that was 4th down. So Vineland could get the ball right at midfield with one untimed down to play. I say you accept it and do it. Rancocas is heading to the locker room. Make them come back out here and defend one time.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for the half. Vineland will take it into halftime. An interesting first half with Vineland up on the board, Coach. Early, take me through what's happening here.
Yeah, Violence had the ball 3 times. 4 times, I'm sorry. Rancocas 5, this last. It was a good first quarter. We intercepted the ball. I ran it back. We then took the ball into the second quarter. We started the Rancocas 16, 1st and goal at the 5. 5-yard run by Sheldon at the 10:36 mark. The kick was no good. We kicked off. Rancocas punted. We got the ball back and we fumbled at the 15-yard line. Quarterback Minjean threw the ball in the end zone at the 7:59 mark, made it 6-6. The kick was good, and Rancocas went up 7-6. We then got the ball again and didn't do anything. Rancocas ran the clock out, Rich. So at the end of the first half, it's 7-6 Rancocas.
All right, and we'll be back for second half action, thanks to our sponsors.
The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Vineland High School football team this season. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharmes, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caters, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Bella Limousine, Medio Law Firm, the Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, Technid Consulting, Vineland Education Association, Begal University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richling Carpet and Flooring, GNS Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Torrisi Petroleum Transporters, Bondi Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Baruffi Brothers, Beretta Plumbing, Heating and Cooling,
Luciano Medical, Van Dodge, and Homestead Plumbing and Heating.
The Vineland High School football team and coaches thank everyone for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season.
Back to Bill Gordon Field here in the game between the Red Raiders of Rancocas Valley and the Fighting Clan of Vineland High. The score at the halftime is Rancocas 7, Vineland 6, in a first half that was marred by a couple of turnovers and some not exciting offensive play yet, Riz. Good defense on both sides. And you want to take it over?
Yeah, Vineland in that first half, not much on the ground. Seemed like a little bit more, but it's 9 carries for 17 yards. Shelton, 4 for 14. Arthur, 1 for 8. Blackwell, 2 for 0. Broom, 1 for -2. Tony, 1 for -3. Passing, Shelton, 2 of 6 for 32 yards. Catches by Reyes, 1 for 19, and Harold, 1 for 13.
Yeah, Rich, neither team had the ball very much in that half. And, you know, when you're running the ball like both teams were, the clock continues to move. You know, there was a couple incompleted passes, but it was a very speedy first half, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, and for Vineland to start this second one, they will be getting the football trailing by that 1 point as they try to get warmed up. We have Rancocas in the other end zone and the officials out on the field just about ready to bring this one back to you. So around the old Cape tonight, it's Clayton at Buna, Holy Spirit at St. Augustine, Lower Cape May at Wildwood, they're up early. Middle Township at Mainland, Absegami at Morristown, Cherry Hill East at Egg Harbor Township, Millville at Bridgeton, that's 22-7 Millville at the half, Ocean City at Triton, and you're here with us, Vineland at Rancocas. Tomorrow it's Oakcrest and Cedar Creek, West Deptford at St. Joe's.
Yeah. Vineland, number one, they're disappointed a little bit. I'm disappointed a little bit in their running attack. They've had a pretty good running attack all year, Rich. And as you said in the stats, they didn't have very much running in that half.
No, not much of anything, but as Coach mentions, there are some possessions, but a lot of them from both teams, 3 and outs.
Yeah.
Now let's look at some old Cape leaders while we have time. For Vineland, number 5, this is by yardage receiver in the old Cape, Tyrene Powell, the junior, with 21 catches coming into this for 246 yards. Number 11 in the ranking is Jonathan Toney, the sophomore, with 19 catches for 190 yards. Number 16, Conrad Jackson, with 8 for 174 and a touchdown. He's averaging 21.8 yards per reception. Otis Howard, who had one in that first half, coming into tonight, he's number 24 with 6 catches for 110 yards. And Reyes, who had the other reception in that first half, he's 5 for 95, so he goes over 100 yards receiving this season. The next milestone will be 1,000 yards for Shelton. Shelton, with his pickup in the first half, he needs, I believe, 32 yards to break the 1,000. In the rushing attack, it's Shelton leading the way for Vineland in the old Cape in the number 9 spot with 96 carries, 388 yards, 4 touchdowns, and of course he added another touchdown tonight to that. Broom at number 14, 59 carries, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's averaging 4.9 a carry. And Anthony Arthur with 36 for 169, averaging 4.7. So 25 yards for Shelton to the 1,000. We are finally ready to go here, as Vineland has the speedster Broom and Jonathan Toney back to return this.
That's number 10, Joey Bryson, who will kick off for the Red Devils.
And this is a little high fly ball, fair caught by Gregory wisely at the 35, where Vineland will take over. And thanks once again to the crew as the Vineland offense gets out there. Kayla Spire, Tanner Bushman, Jordan Skarzinski, crew chiefs Doug Deal and Ryan Steinbrown, and executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masori, the school district public information officer. If you're catching this live, you can find it anytime on YouTube at VPS Broadcasting and all the other goings on in Vineland Public Schools. Shelton from the shotgun. He gives up the middle. Hit early, trying to squirt forward, but nothing there for Arthur. So he's going to maybe pick up a yard. So it's going to be 2nd and 9. Well, that undersized line on both sides for Rancocas has held their own. It's been pretty much a standoff in the trenches. Except for I think the defense is getting a push, but quarterback's been able to stand in and roll out of the pocket to buy some time. Here's Shelton coming to the top of the screen. He's got blocking in front, not able to catch up to the blocking, though. The blockers head upfield. Shelton not able to get behind him as pursuit comes from the inside.
I've been watching very carefully the front, Rich, and see what they're trying to do. And as soon as the ball snapped, they're angling, And the linebackers are going the other way, so they're making not an easy target for our linemen if everybody's moving.
You may be looking at one person and they're going away from you, and it's causing some trouble. Shelton to throw, under pressure, floats it to Arthur, incomplete. It's just too much pressure in his face there to be able to plant his feet and get rid of it, as Daniel Myers, number 18 for Rancocas, is there.
That brings up 4th and 9 for the Red Devils.
It's not the start that we run it. It's not the start we want it, Rich.
No, and then once again we go back to that defense, and we ask the defense to do it again. Yet alone having the punt to Condris, number 2, who's back to return the Schnell kick.
They haven't put much pressure on us. They came that time.
Nice angled kick. It's going to hit at the 30 and bounce to Dandris, who tries to cut to the middle, stays on his feet, and now he's going to circle all the way back. He's got Blakely out in front of him, but he doesn't make it. He doesn't make it to Blakely, as on the play 23. I believe it was Gregory actually on the stop.
Boy, I thought he had a wall on that side, Rich.
When he doubled back the second time and he had some blocking in front of him, I stopped looking at him and looked to the edge to see if we had somebody there. But that still would have been a very difficult tackle had he made it out there. So from the 38, Rancocas with their first shot this half and the 1-point lead. Rivers, Robinson, and Malloy are your linemen on this set. Delgado backs out from the blitz, comes back up into it, and they run screen. He's got a tackle to break to be free, and nice job on the tackle, but a big gain on first down. As Shermone Hill gets up a little gingerly.
I told you, Rich, in the first half, I'd be throwing that pass all day. We're playing it very soft. We had nobody up on any of those wide receivers.
So officially 2nd and 4 now. And trying to run it and getting hit and dropped. Radisson on that tackle with some help from some others. It's going to be a little bit of a loss. It's going to make it 3rd. And if that was 4, this is 5, but this looks more like 3rd and 4. We went from a short 4 to a long 4. The slant over the middle just led his receiver too much. Gregory in coverage with inside support from Blakely. So 4th and 4, and this is where you may need to watch the fake here, is field positions right at their own 44-yard line. Jonathan Toney back to return it for the Fighting Clan. I think you play coverage on these attack guys. As Broom's locked up at the bottom of the screen. And there's a boot. It's going to hit right in front of Toney. And roll down to the half-a-yard line.
What a bounce.
The ball was spotted at the 1-foot line of Vineland.
Well, if you're ever going to set a school record, Coach,
Woo!
if the ball starts there, I don't know that you can beat the record. You can have a record that'll stand forever, as Vineland's going to start with their linemen's heels in the end zone off the outstanding punt. Hit that quick out here, Coach, like we were running last week. Hit in the backfield, spins, and it's a safety. As Arthur not able to get back to the line of scrimmage, as he was hit numerous times in the backfield on that. Right now, things not just going Vineland's way. We have 8:50 to go in the third quarter. So 9-6.
With 8 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Probably see Schnell in to punt this one.
Red Devils.
As the Red Devils receive a free kick, Vineland will be kicking from their own 20.
I didn't like that call, Rich. When you angle a runner, you give the defense a chance to get in there. That should be a straight ahead pop.
Well, that's one thing when you have the quarterback not under center ever. You've got 3 yards to gain before you get back to the line of scrimmage, and when you're on the 1 foot line, it just didn't work out. So Vineland's going to elect to kick it off traditional style instead of the punt by Snell. It's going to be Aparicio. So Rancocas, not only with the 2 points, looks to be that they're going to gain some great field position here. But this one, Aparicio boots, and it's called at the 35. Matlock heading to the middle, now trying to pop to the outside. And he's still on his feet around the edge. And Matlock's taken down right around the 27-yard line. Looks like he may have stepped out a little earlier. Well, nice booming kick by Aparicio. But an even better return. Says he does step out quite a bit before that. Looks like it's going to be the 33-yard line where Rancocas will take over.
What's the first rule of special team? Don't let him get where, Rich?
Outside.
Outside. And
can't be over anxious trying to jump in on a tackle. And here's sweep. And they have an edge. It gets turned in, but positive yards on there, about 4 yards.
Gain of 7 yards on the play.
I don't know about 7.
That'll bring up 2nd and 3.
that's the second best run of the day. They had one for 10, and now they have one for 7.
This time there's pressure in the backfield. Hit by Blackwell, sneaks off the tackle, but holds on after a jarring hit by Powell. So I'm going to call that last one 2nd and 5, and we're going to be at 3rd and 5 again here. A little overambitious PA announcer. So the 3rd down. There's the pass and tripping and stumbling, and a flag comes in. As their feet got tangled up, the receiver falls to the ground. The officials are together talking about it. And it is pass interference on the Fighting Clan. That'll be a first down for Rancocas.
That's a tough call, Rich, because he really didn't do anything. You know.
That'll be an automatic first down for the Red Devils.
Well, you didn't trip him.
No.
You made a cut and tripped over your foot. So 1st and 10 from the 14 for Rancocas. Vineland really needs to try to hold them out of the end zone for a field goal try. Mangine tries to get around the outside, and he's hit and dropped after he picks up 1 or 2. So Bachman checks into the defensive line.
The Must be a big hole here, Rich, and we could hold them.
A little bit cold out here tonight, but not much wind at all as the flag's laying straight. But we've got a couple downs to make some plays here. And there's jet sweep to the outside. Powell turns him back in. And looked like Moses maybe only got 2 or 3 yards, making it 3rd and 5.
Now, see, Powell did exactly what he was supposed to. Came from that safety spot, turned him in, and would have made a great play if he had made the tackle.
See if they don't try to draw Vineland off. So it's 3rd and about 6 or 5.5. Don't think they'd get the first down with the 5-yard penalty, but back to passes. Mangine fires to a wide open receiver for the touchdown. Jerome Hill ran a perfect slant and got hit right in stride with that pass from Mangine.
Who was that that caught it, Rich?
Hill.
Number 88, Benjamin Biggie, for the extra point.
So Biggie for the kick. Make it 16-6 to put Rancocas up 10.
That kick is up.
And no good.
With 6 minutes, 11 seconds remaining.
So a 9-point lead with 6:11 on the clock. Vineland's going to get it back, and that offense needs to get moving this drive.
Well, we had a run back of a punt that set them up and a pass interference to gain a first. Two plays that, number one, the run back, he got outside. Number two, the pass interference is questionable, but that's okay. There's an old saying, if the guy throws a flag, there's a penalty.
Somebody thought it was a penalty, the
Yeah.
person that mattered the most.
He threw the flag.
But very unfortunate as on the cut, feet tangled up and tripping over the defender's foot. So plenty of time to go. We're just in the 3rd with 6:11 on the clock. Now Rancocas has just been kicking some pop-ups to about the 35, much like Vineland traditionally has been doing. So Maggie has it ready. And he puts his foot into this one. Nazir Broom takes it with a full head of speed, pushes a blocker forward, and defended very well by Rancocas as they have about 6 guys on it. Boy, I like the burst of speed when Broom had his hands on the football, really attacking up into that wedge return, but too many bodies in there. So 1st and 10 Fighting Clan from their own 30-yard line.
This is the 3rd time we've had the ball, Rich. Once we punt it and once we gave him a safety.
Shelton pump fakes, delivers in stride, and boy, how does Tyreen Powell hold on to that? It's the second the ball arrived, he takes a big hit. And he holds on to it for the first down. Reyes checking Powell out there. Powell says, I'm all right, slaps his head, and he's heading back to his spot. Where are we going with the football, fellas? It's an awful long way back from where that play ended. So Pal's going to come out. They're going to check on him and make sure he's all right. So short of the first down by a little bit. It's going to be second.
What kind of spot was that?
He was well over the 40. But 2nd and 1. Shelton has pressure in his face. Conrad Jackson takes it, squares his shoulders, goes straight up the field and picks up the first down and a handful more with 5:18 and running in the third quarter. Boy, Jackson did a nice job after he caught it. Secures it, turns upfield, squares his shoulders, and picks up extra yards for the Fighting Clan. Conrad Jackson also approaching 200 yards. Shelton himself spins, gets hit, falls forward, gain of about 5 or 6. So I like when they move with this tempo, Coach. It was successful last week with St. Joe's. They're starting to get him in a little quicker now. See if they can get this defense on their heels. There you go. There goes Broom. Stutter step to the inside. First time he's had some running room, and he makes the most of it. You can almost see that coming on the kickoff return, that he's just itching for those carries, and he got one there. Nice blocking up front. Big gain on the play. First down, Vineland on the move, 4:24 in the third.
What do we say, Rich? Straight ahead, right?
Yep.
Give the back a chance to get up in that hole.
Broom stays in alongside Shelton. It's 1st and 10 from the 24. Broom through the middle. He's got a big opening. Stutter steps, hits the official, stays on his feet down inside the 10, and he's going to finally be wrestled down at the 4-yard line. See one official on the 5, one on the 4. Shelton says, hurry up, let's go. Doing it right again, Coach. Same thing. Here we go. Shelton takes it himself, makes a couple people miss, pushes forward.
Down around the 2, Rich.
We're knocking on the door, and this is where Vineland's had some trouble before. Punching and powering this football in. A lot of times it's Shelton and Broom lead the team in touchdowns. They're the 2 biggest rushing touchdown guys on the team. They're both out on the field. Offensive line, you've got a couple shots here, and here's the first one. And Broom trying to fall forward. And he's right at the 2. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 2. Nice job by the defense as he's trying to extend his body on the way down, and they hold him up. Don't let 34 Broom get his back flat and pick up close to what would be a touchdown. Shelton in the shotgun, sticking with Broom. 2:38 on the clock. Extra lineman in the middle. Otis Harold, the wide receiver, is clapping, thinking it's going to be on Rancocas, and it is. That'll be a half the distance penalty, so now it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 1. Vineland sticks with their offensive line. Dutra, Eckert, Roldan, Anderson, and Bachma. This time Shelton tries, and he's going to lose a yard. It's going to be 4th and 2 from the 2. 4th and goal at the 2.
must be third, isn't it, Rich?
No, we're up. I got 4. 140. Now this time Vineland spreads it out. Tyreen Powell still on the sideline. So we're going to have Tony, Harold, and Reyes at the top of the screen. And stopped, hit, for a loss. As Vineland's held out of the end zone. They got close, but Rancocas didn't let them in. So the ball on the 5-yard line where Rancocas will take over. Asking the defense one more time, trying to get a 3-and-out here and get the ball back for the offense. The offense moved it great with their tempo, but just sputtered out inside the 10. Crazy play as we're waiting for substitutions on the field. Rancocas sees it and tries to hurry up, but they snap it in a hurry. Reyes was ready, put pressure on. The ball hits the ground. So Vineland needs to get set as they're ready, and they're spread out. And Vineland's going to have to use a timeout as they have personnel issues on the defense. Most likely with Powell out, it's a matter of who's jumping in for him. And they avoided a big bullet there as Rancocas procedure penalty. Otherwise, they were playing 11 on 5. So Vineland first forced to burn the timeout.
Yeah.
Vineland's traveled pretty well today as our side of the bleachers is fairly packed. They're not enormous, but everybody's bunched in together. Just looking for that burst and that spark, and got to think if it's going to come from the defense. Now the defense matched up. And it's quarterback draw. Reyes from behind, and Mangine's held up in the front by the defensive line. Of course, you see Delgado and Rivers in there helping out with that one. We're under a minute to go in the third. So 2nd and 11. Ball now on the 4-yard line. Mangine looks to throw, fires it incomplete. 3rd and 11, ball on the 4, 28 seconds to go in the third quarter. Bachma in, Rivers out. Otis Harold into that safety spot.
Rich, doing a game from out here is like being a spectator.
Yeah.
You know, there's no interaction because we're not, you know, set
Trying
up.
to get wide. Broom flushes him to the middle, breaking a tackle. Does he have the legs? It's Madlock, kicks free. He's got Gregory to beat. It's Madlock to the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. No flags. Touchdown, Rancocas with 11 seconds to go in the third. So Vineland on 4th doesn't score from the 2. 3 plays later, it's a long 96-yard run for Matlock.
Will stand.
21-6 Rancocas right now, as this third quarter has been a nightmare for the Fighting Clan.
Biggie will be in for the extra point. The kick is up. It is good.
And good. It's been fourth quarters that have doomed Vineland in the past in these tight games. Today it's the third, and there's one good thing about it being the third is we have another quarter of football. Vineland's offense moved the ball last time.
Boy, there have been some weird turnarounds, haven't there, Rich, in this?
Yeah, we pick one off inside the 10. We fumble one at the 15 or at the 10, wherever that one was.
Two big plays,
96-yard
Rich.
run.
Two big plays have hurt us. That punt return, where they brought it down inside our 30, and then that pass interference, which gave a first. And they were two tough breaks against Vineland.
And you try to answer them, and you march down inside the 15 twice, inside the 2 once, but you come away with no points on those drives.
Would have, should have, could have. That would have
Would
made
have,
it.
could have, should have, but still can. Let's see if Vineland can move this ball back up the
We
field.
go in and score there, make it 15-13. It's a different game.
For querying my number. Big Mister is the call. That's Joey Rice kicking off.
It was Broom on the last one with a center return. And this one's another boomer going back deep. Long way to run for Tony. Anthony Tony's hit at the 21-yard line. So we still have one more play to go in the third quarter with 1.4 seconds on the clock. Shelton to Tony. Positive gain of about 8 on that, and that's going to do it for our third quarter. The Vineland side a little flat after that long run.
Third quarter. With the score, the Rancocas Valley
We've seen Vineland storm back against Lenape. Down 17, got it to 17-14, and then with the ball in their hands in the red zone, fumbled around the 12-yard line to end that one. They've got some work to do, but there's time to do it. And it's got to start with this drive here for Vineland.
Great job, Brian. Ballard, keep on trying. Shout out to William Hutchinson.
It is interesting being this close to the action. Not that we can see that well from here, but you're certainly close enough to tell what's going on the sideline and to clue you back in. Leading receiver Tyreen Powell still on the table on the side. Looks like he's going to be done for the day. Trainer checking him after that hit, giving him some concussion tests. So 12 minutes to go. A lot of work for the Fighting Clan. Shelton gives up the middle. As Broom looks like he has enough for the first down. And sure enough, he does. First down, Vineland. Shelton and Broom. Shelton has it. He's got a receiver deep in Harold. Harold stands, waits for one to get dropped to him, and Shelton's going to take it out of bounds after a gain of 3 or 4.
They, let's go. Plenty of time, Rich. Let's go down and get a score.
See if they look to Reyes. He's shown the ability to break tackles. And you got to like your odds with him with a jump ball, but having Powell out certainly hurts your receiving core. Tony and Harold down at the bottom, 3 and 4. Shelton floats it to Tony, who wasn't ready for it. They had different patterns in their mind. So it's going to be 3rd and 7. Vineland's last drive was outstanding, and the offense sputtered, and they're sputtering a little bit here.
We need a spark here, Rich.
Tell you one thing Rancocas has done really well is not giving us space.
Yeah.
Shelton back. Quarterback draw. Can he get through the initial surge? He does. Makes a couple moves, stays on his feet, spins down into Rancocas territory. Picks up about 18 to 19 yards on that one. It's first down Vineland at the Rancocas 47.
That's really the play that's been missing tonight, isn't it, Rich?
Yeah, and that one closed down on him, and Shelton, like a grape, just squirts through the middle before the containment's there and does a real nice job after contact. Shelton's going to try it again. Pump fakes, keeps it, runs laterally, picks up about 2 or 3 before he's brought down by Ehrlich. So 2nd and 8. Here's a blitz. Shelton stands tough, and it's tipped. Shelton stands back there. Edrick again. Edrick,
Boy, he's
6'2",
played one great game
225.
tonight.
Yes, he has.
92, and the other one is 66. What's his name, Rich?
Maffletone.
Man, he'd been in our backfield more than our backs.
So another 3rd down on this one. We just creeped under 10 minutes at 9:58. Shelton drops. He's setting up a screen. He floats it to complete. And turning upfield as a flag hits the field, it's going to be short of the first down on a nice tackle by Rancocas goes Broom. Broom's right about at the 40.
Flag,
4th
Rich.
and 3, and we have to
Flag
see what
come flying out of there.
Yeah, right when he went by there. So Rancocas has the decision of 4th and 3 or 3rd and 3rd and about 15, I'd guess, from where that flag is. And they will give Vineland another crack at it at 3rd down. So with 9:38 to go, Down 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions. Maybe 4 down territory here. See if Vineland tries to run something up underneath and get half of this back. Not sure what we're waiting for as the official stands over the ball. And they're gonna, I'd love to have 94 minutes and 50 seconds. I think a lot could happen in that. But 9:45 now on the clock. Shelton back, fires it complete to Jonathan Toney, who splits the defenders and picks up the big first down. As he's gonna be brought down right around the 25-yard line. That's that route they like to throw to the tight ends or Conrad Jackson in there, and Toney does a real nice job getting up and bringing that down. Shelton's going to run it himself. He's chased, he's harassed, he's hit, and stopped right around the line of scrimmage.
See, Rich, his best runs of the night are when he turns it up. He keeps floating to that sideline. Remember the one he gained 19 yards on? Right down, down. You gotta square it up. He's quick enough when he squares it up. He really gets a lot of momentum.
Pressure from behind. Jonathan Toney with it. Gets to the outside, breaks a tackle, and dives across the goal line. And, of course, they're saying no, just short inside the 1. Boy, as Toney breaks a shirt-tailed tackle and gets really close. That's 2 catches for Toney on this one, on this drive. So from the 1. Let's see if Shelton goes under center, tries to come forward himself. Broom and Shelton are the backs. Shelton is back. He's under pressure. He rolls, he throws it. Incomplete, but he got rid of it, which was big, as he would have been sacked right around the 14-yard line. So Vineland tried 3 times to pound it in inside the 3 and weren't able to do it. This time they try to roll Shelton and get it to Conrad Jackson. But pressure through the middle as they're playing run and dive in the middle. They have extra linebackers and everyone there. So the clock stopped, 8:24. Vineland yet again knocking on the door. There's the give. No signal yet. And touchdown for Broom. Late signal comes in. Vineland punches it in. Get back in this one and to employ their defense one more time, but Vineland's got to go for 2 here. If Vineland can convert the 2-point conversion, that'll put them down 8. So it could be it is a 1-possession game, but would be a 1-possession game. If they don't convert, they're going to need 2 more scores. Hate to waste the timeout here. The play's signaled in. Shelton and Broom in the back. Shelton throws it complete to Reyes for the 2-point conversion. So Vineland makes it an 8-point lead. An 8-point lead after Vineland had the ball inside the 1. They've absorbed Rancocas' 96-yard run by Matlock to get back into this one. They've got some more work to do, and it's going to start with the defense right now.
Great drive, Rich. That was a 79-yard drive, which started in the 3rd quarter, moved over into the 4th quarter, and they had the ball the whole time in this 4th quarter. So now's the time you got to step up and make a good stop here.
Well, since Delgado's been in at linebacker, he's had a nose for the football. He's picked up sacks. See if that Vineland defense can do a little more, as they probably will start sending Reyes and/or Delgado, the really strong speed rushers from that linebacker spot. So it's Robert Aparicio to kick it. Condris back deep. And it's a short, fair caught ball at the 35. So Rancocas from the 35, 8:16 on the clock. Well, right now I'm thinking of my two-point play, Coach.
What, Rich? I didn't hear.
As I'm thinking of my two-point play, I've got the defense with their stop. It doesn't.
Yeah.
You get the ball back, that's going to be a big play if you're able to get it in the end zone. Visiting crowd employing the defense. Rancocas, you got to think they're going to try to run one here, and they go quarterback draw. Nothing there, hit and wrapped and dropped. Tackled for a loss by Delgado, number 56. Vineland looking to turn the tides. Now we click on their 8 at 7:55 and running. Rancocas in no hurry. They're up on the line and they're set, but they want to take some time off this clock. And to throw, and it's short hop. Going to be incomplete, and that stops the clock with 7:31. So 3rd and 13.
Big play, Rich. Right here.
And now you may have to have, Rancocas may have to throw it, and if it's incomplete, there's so much time left. Now, if you're Vineland, you'd like to see the clock stop to give your offense 2 opportunities at this. And this is always weird when you have linemen talking to each other. Something tricky is going to be going on. Vineland just with their 3 down linemen, they don't blitz. Pressure from the top, it's tipped and incomplete. It's going to be 4th and 13. Great defense on the play. So once again, Delgado has a nose for that football, and he's around it. Let's see what Vineland wants to do on this punt return. Malloy out, Tony in. Tony back deep to return it. He stands at the Vineland 31-yard line. I don't think you have the guts to fake anything here, Coach.
No.
Mangren, the quarterback kicker. It's high and short. It's going to hit down and take a real nice roll down to the 21-yard line. But Vineland has the football. 7:13 to go in the 4th quarter. The offense back on the field. Last time the offense marched it down 79 yards and got it in. The time before they marched it down inside the 1-yard line and weren't able to get it in. Let's see which way they try to move it down the field this time. The chills are setting in on me up here, Coach. I don't know if you're getting them yet. Shelton takes it himself. He tries to get to the edge on the top side. Stutter steps, falls forward. Looks like he's going to be right at about the, looks like the 26 to me. So he's going to be right at the 25. 2nd and 3. This time to give up the middle. Breaking a couple people, miss goes Broom. He's to the 45, 50, 40, 30, 20. Can he outrun the tackler? Brought down inside or right at the 10-yard line goes Broom. A touchdown saving tackle by Rancocas' fastest player, Condris. As Broom put on a burst of speed and found his way in. We have 6:25 left in this one. Vineland knocking on the door. It looks like it's going to be 1st and goal from the 10. Vineland cannot get a first down. They need the end zone. There's the give again. Plowing forward and picking up some hard yards in there goes Broom. Excuse me, Blackwell. You know, sometimes I just want to take my lineman, put him toe-to-toe, and tell him I need you to take 5 steps without anybody coming through you.
Yep.
Line getting that chance. Bachmet center. Eckert and Dutra on the left. Roldan and Anderson on the right. Shelton fakes, looks, has nowhere to go, steps up, under pressure, and throws it away, incomplete. He got rid of that on the way down. It'll fall incomplete. We may see a late flag on this as Vineland had a lineman downfield because the play took so long, but it looks like he snuck back. We're okay. 3:18, excuse me, 3rd and 8. 5:44 on the clock. 3rd and goal from the 8. Shelton had nowhere to throw. Now he has Blackwell standing alongside of him. Take it, Ryan. Thrown, caught, complete, touchdown to Tony. Tony brings Vineland right back to within 2 points with 5:37 to go. And what were we thinking about a minute ago? What are we running for our 2-point conversion? This is a big one. If Vineland can convert it, they come all the way back and tie this up. If they don't, they're going to need the football and another score. And that score most likely would have to be a touchdown if they don't get this one. Tight formation. Shelton takes it himself. He has to buy time and find somewhere to put it. He puts his arm across the end line, and it's good for the 2-point conversion. Shelton to the top of the screen, outruns the defense. This baby's all tied up, 22-22, as Vineland tries to make a case for why and when they will be in the playoffs, trying to knock off Rancocas Valley. Tied up, defense time now.
Now, Rich, that was an 84-yard drive. And most of it was Broom's run.
And it didn't take much time off the clock either. There's 5:37 to go. For the Rancocas, they had all the momentum at the end of that 3rd quarter with the big stop inside the 1 of Vineland, and then their big, long 96-yard touchdown run. Vineland gets their 3 and out, and then sandwiched in between that are 2 long drives. This one, a Broom breaks free and almost takes it to the house. The last drive was a few completions to Tony getting it going. Well, I feel bad not standing up and clapping and cheering as I'm standing with the crowd here, but.
Great. That's a character builder when you do something like that.
Yeah, great comeback and push. And now, don't forget, we have the very dangerous Condris back there to return. So this will probably be another fly ball to about the 35. Aparicio ready to put his foot to it. And this one's going to come right to the 40. So from the 40, Rancocas will take over. Their last drive went for negative yards. Rancocas in the first half really moved the ball well with their rollout, waggle-style passing attack, having 3 or 4 receivers roll with and have 3 different levels for hitting out patterns. They got a little conservative with the lead, trying to take some time off the clock with some runs and some safe completions, but no yards there. There's been pressure from the defense. Now the defense may not need to have to come at them that hard. And you just try to secure this 3 and out, put the ball back in the hands of the offense. What a night for high school football. What I believe are 2 of South Jersey's best. We know Rancocas, everyone believes so. I certainly believe this Vineland High Fighting Clan team is. Here's their chance to get that W. They run counter back to the top. Some late blocking arrives, only a gain of about a yard for vicious hit. Takes down Matlock. As Blackwell delivers a shot along with some help from Malloy and Delgado.
You got to control Matlock. Remember, he had a 96-yard run. He can fly if he gets loose.
2nd and 9 as we approach 5 minutes left in this one. Mangine gives to Matlock again. Marcus Rivers tries to track him down. Boom, big hit coming up. Boy, he had an edge and an opening, and I believe that was Blakely that came up to make the stop after a minimal gain of about a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 8. DeMarcus Rivers, who was in pursuit, the big D lineman, steps out. It's senior captain Mike Bachma that steps in for him. The linebackers have been flying all over the field. RV spreads them out. This looks like pass. 4:22 and counting. Mangine looks to throw. He's harassed. He floats it. And it's going to be complete and enough for the first down. Boy, I'll tell you, there wasn't holding on that play, but there was some good blocking that gets you to think, is that a hold? So really picking up that rush as Delgado had heavy pressure. So converting the 3rd down, now trying to go wide, cutting it to the middle, goes Matlock, and this time he has a nice leg drive. That sets him much better for 2nd down with 3:54 and running on the clock in this tie game. We'll call that 5 yards, make it 2nd and 5. Bunch formation. I think we have one uncovered at the top here. Don't forget Vineland's defense trying to do this without leading tackler Tyreen Powell. In there, Mangine rolls to the top. He gets an edge, squares forward, and he's going to be close to the first down with 3:11 on the clock.
Momentum Rich is in Rancocas Valley favor. They can take their time. They're in violent territory. So we have to come up, and we need a big play. We need something.
Officially 3rd and 1. Mangine stands alone in the backfield. Now he's going to sneak it himself. He's under center, sneaks it himself, comes up and gets the first down. So first down with 2:59 on the clock.
See, that's the safest play in football. Quarterback sneak for a yard.
Yeah, Mangine's been in shotgun most of the game, but he went under for that one. Now he stands alone again, and here comes jet sweep. It's a fake. Looking to go deep to the top. He's got a receiver open. Does he hold on? He does. Boy, breaking free. And coming up with the big catch for Rancocas to set them up is Hill. Like Rancocas hit the gas pedal again. It's 1st and goal from the 10 for Rancocas. 2:25 and running. There's the give, cutting to the middle. Matlock, he skips to the outside, to the top of the screen, in the end zone for the touchdown. I'd rather him do it with 2:19 on the clock than with 1:08 on the clock. And it looks like Rancocas is going to go for the kick for the extra point. Vineland will get the football back, though, with just over 2 minutes on the clock. Nifty run that time. Was very patient was Hill.
That was a 60-yard drive, Rich. Didn't take up much time.
And that's the good part of it. And here's the try for a point by Biggie. Fake. Floating it to the top. 2-point conversion, good. For getting some responsibilities out there as Mangine gets off his knee and fires an easy 2-point conversion. So the pressure back on Vineland, football in their hand, down 8 points. They've done it before, now they need to do it again. This time the clock will be a factor. Well, Shelton got it done easily on the 2-pointer last time, so not the end of the world with that, but certainly makes you have to execute really well and really fast here with 2:19 to go.
It's 2 straight weeks, Rich. We've had really good high school football.
Yeah, an outstanding game tonight, and of course this one not done yet.
No.
As Shelton and that Vineland offense will get another crack at it. Boy, you battled for those possessions, making stops, doing something with the football, and you battle all the way back, and the defense bailed you out most of the game today, and now it's time for the offense to pick up the defense. That is, if Broom or Tony don't decide they're going to run this one all the way back here. Let's see what's going to happen with this kickoff if they're going to boot it again. They've been kicking it deep. That one's going to go a little short, probably out of bounds. And it does, so Vineland gets some good field position.
Pick it up at the 35.
It's like Coach Russo is going to have him kick it again and try to get a return. Broom is the one with the hot hand, had the big run the last time. Tony's been the hot receiver. All this happening with leading receiver and leading tackler Tyreen Powell out on the side. Not only is Tyreen a major weapon for Vineland, but at 6'4" and blazing speed, you've got to keep a safety hanging around over top, so it makes it a little easier to cover some of the receivers and mix your coverage a little bit, confusing Shelton. So now Rancocas is going to kick from the 35.
The ball will be kicked off from the 35-yard line.
It's Isaiah Blakely and Gregory in that second from the back line. Boy, and that's booted. Tony makes a nice catch. He's to the 20, through the middle of the field. Hit trying to make a move at the 30, where Vineland will take over. "70 yards to go, 2 minutes and 14 seconds to do it. As the offense takes the field, thanks again to our crew tonight: Kayla Spire, Tanner Bushman, Jordan Skarzinski, crew chiefs Doug Diola and Ryan Steinbrown, and executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masori, the school district's public information officer.
At their own 34-yard line.
Shelton the throw. He's looking for Jackson up top, but he's sacked. He's sacked and dropped for a big loss by Loveland, number 77, and number 72, Hernandez. Under 2 minutes. Got your senior captain, Anthony Reyes, the tight end, out wide. Still like to see if they can get it back to him. Takes a village to bring them down. Shelton throws a quick out to Tony, who squares his shoulders and pulls forward. He's going to get a lot of those yards back. So now it's going to be 3rd and about 12.
Big play, you got to make it manageable, Rich.
Oh, and that's miscommunication intended for Reyes. 4th down, 1:28 on the clock. This is probably do or die time here. Vineland's going to need a 1st down on 4th here. Boy, some close plays all around tonight. The 4th down, Rancocas went for it and got the pass interference penalty as the players tripped up. Shelton under pressure. Now he has a little bit of time. It's floated. Here's Reyes straight up, but he's got 4 guys around him, and he's going to be dropped short of the 1st down. And with 1:12 on the clock and 2 timeouts for Vineland, that's just about going to do it. The homecoming game next Saturday with Washington Township, and that's a Saturday start instead of that normal Friday start. Now let's see what Rancocas wants to do to kill off this clock. Mangine goes around the top, slides down before he's out of bounds, and Vineland takes the timeout. Vineland has 1 left.
1 more, Rich.
Was that defensive timeout earlier. So Washington Township comes to Vineland at 1 o'clock on Saturday, October 20th. Then Vineland will have their bye week, and then most likely their playoff game. Vineland's sitting okay in that 6-7 spot in the playoffs. Definitely a win against Washington Township puts them in. And this is a team that has hung with the best in South Jersey and just not been able to get over the hump.
Yeah, I think, Rich, that inexperience sometimes has hurt us this year. Not having A lot of seniors. You know, we've been so close in every game. And that's where you see the difference. You see some of these teams are senior led. And you don't want to look ahead a year, but all these juniors and sophomores are going to step into the role next year as seniors.
Yeah, and not only just age-wise seniors, these other teams are led by. They're led by guys with 2 or 3 years starting experience. So when we talk about the seniors, there's some seniors there, but we had so many the last few years that these guys are certainly capable of getting their first cracks their junior or senior year.
Right.
So 2nd and 10, 1:02 on the clock. Man Green up the middle, stays on his feet, bounces to the outside, turns on a burst of speed, and he's hit and dropped at the 2-yard line. Gregory combines with Broom for the stop. Well, this is the other thing the Vineland team has done throughout the year. You know, we talk about a tie game with 5 minutes left. Then there's also a chance for another score for Rancocas here, which makes the score look a little out of whack. And we've been going through that, being in tie games and one-possession games late into the 4th quarter, only to have the team get that deciding touchdown. And when you look at it, you're like, oh, well, they had it together. It looks like with 33 seconds and running on the clock, Vineland not electing to use that last timeout. Rancocas holding in the huddle. So if they choose to, they can just kneel on it, or they can try to pound it in. They certainly earn the right by getting it down there as Mangine takes him down there. 21 seconds to go. Vineland battles all the way back to tie it up, but it's Rancocas that gets the next score and stops the Vineland offense. It's also Rancocas with a 96-yard touchdown run. Also Rancocas with 2 inside the 10 goal situation stops against the Vineland offense. So they've made the big plays and completed the big series when they needed. And that's that experience coach is alluding to. This team made it to the Group 5 South Jersey Championship against a team they beat 10-7 in Lenape and then lost 10-7 to Lenape last year. So this is your number 2 team in South Jersey Group 5 last year as they line up. And it looks like they're lining up super tight. Mangine's probably just going to kneel on this one here as he has his buddies alongside, and classy move by Rancocas coach Houseman. As we just witnessed an outstanding game of high school football. Vineland comes out on the wrong side of it, but 2 very good teams battling to the end. Vineland put the heat on them in the 4th. Tell me about some of these drives, Coach.
Yes, we started the second half, Vineland with the ball. They punted, Rancocas punted, and the ball stopped at the 1-foot line. Rancocas Valley then got a safety, and they made it 9-6. Then Mangine to Hall at the 6:11 mark made it 15-6. The kid no good. Matlock, a 96-yard run just before the end of the 3rd quarter. The kick was good, made it 22-6. Vineland then really came on in the 4th quarter. Broom with a 1-yard run. Reyes got 2 points, made it 22-14. We stopped Rancocas. Broom then made a heck of a run down to the 8-yard line. And then a pass to Tony from Sheldon made it 22-20. Sheldon went in for the 2 points at the 5:37 mark, tied the game up. Matlock came right back from Rancocas Valley on a 10-yard run. They had a fake kick for 2 points, and they went up 30-22. We ran out of downs at our own 34-yard line as Rancocas took a knee to end the game, Rich, and it ended up 30-22. You have anything to add before I turn this out?
I've tried not to sniff all night. Sorry for any problems with this one. A little tough to see down at field level here and not much light on our table as we were outside. It was a nice atmosphere. Vineland traveled very well today as the fans employed the defense in the fourth quarter. We got the stops. We tied it back up, but just not enough gas left in the engine. So, Coach, next week, Saturday, 1 o'clock kickoff versus Washington Township. We win, you're in the playoffs, and you're –
Rich,
and what time's that kickoff?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock kickoff, and don't forget the parade down Landis Avenue before as Vineland's going to come back home to the friendly confines, get that W, and get ready for a playoff game after a week bye to prepare for it. So, Coach, you want to take us out of here? And
Absolutely.
we'll leave it with our sponsors when you're done.
Absolutely. For myself, John Parentazzi, the color man, under trying conditions tonight. It's been a long time since Rich and I had to do a game from outside, and Rich did a great job on the play-by-play. If the acoustics are a little bad, we were with the band. You know, we had a little music during the game. So for John Parentazzi, myself, color coordinator, I had a great play-by-play man, Rich Scarpa. Have a great week. See you next week.
The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Vineland High School football team this season. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharmes, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caters, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Bella Limousine, Medio Law Firm, the Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, Technid Consulting, Vineland Education Association, Begal University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richling Carpet and Flooring, GNS Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Bondi Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Barufi Brothers, Beretta Plumbing, Heating and Cooling,
Luciano Medical, Van Dodge, and Homestead Plumbing and Heating.
The Vineland High School football team and coaches thank everyone for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season.